Well, it's actually so cold, you know, we don't really want you to stick your hand in there entirely. You want to try that exact same experiment here with a plastic bag and see how cold it is? That way you can feel the cold without the wet.
You put your hand in the bag. There you go.
What do you feel?
Water.
Yeah, a little bit. You feel the coldness of that water. Now, have you ever heard of animals living in the water?
No.
No. Well, there's all kinds of animals that live in and near water, including things like polar bears, you got birds, and even, you know this one?
No.
That's a walrus. That's a funny looking thing, ain't it? Well, they have different ways of keeping themselves warm. You wear a coat when it gets cold. Well, so do the rest of these animals. For instance, the polar bear here has some fur that keeps them warm. Do you remember how cold it was when you put your hand in the water? Well, now let's try putting our hand back in there. Do you feel any cold?
No.
No. Why do you think that is?
It's a polar bear.
Yeah, well, the polar bear uses the same strategy, which is to use their fur to trap some air. And since air is a poor conductor of heat, well, it stays nice and warm. Actually, so too do birds. Do you know what these are?
Feathers.
That's exactly right. And do you know what animal has feathers?
What?
What animals have feathers?
A peacock.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, nice little peacock. Well, if a peacock were to take a dip into a cold bath, would you mind sticking your hand in there? Do you think it would be cold to them?
No.
No, does it feel cold?
No.
Does it feel any different than the fur? A little bit? Yeah. How does it feel different?
Cold.
It's a little bit colder, yeah. It goes by the same principle of trapping air, but there's much less material to trap it. So, yeah, it's actually a little bit colder. Now, the final form of coverage that we have is called blubber. Have you ever heard the term blubber?
No.
Blubber is fat. If you look at that walrus right there, they're really big animals full of lots of fat, and they stay nice and warm during very cold weather. So if you'd like, one final time, this ought to be the warmest of the bunch. Does that feel cold at all?
It feels cold.
Feels cold?
Uh-huh.
Oh. Well, then I think this walrus maybe has to work on their blubber a little bit. But blubber allows a lot of aquatic mammals to stay warm in these cold weathers because the fat is just like air, is a
Like
poor
Daddy.
conductor of heat. And it's actually a little bit vascularized, so they can kind of change their coat on the whim. And that right there is the lesson I've got right here for you.